And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up, live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden. We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights. So the only way we're going to get some of this oppression and exploitation away from us or aside from us is come together against the common enemy.
I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
Get together, have a few laughs.
Welcome to the Iowa Talk Guys podcast. I'm your host, TP.
And I'm E-Rock. I'm your host, Theo.
And today, bringing you guys some clips and some news.
Yeah, we've got the clip of Zelensky at the UN. We have a clip of the New Zealand Prime Minister. Former Prime Minister, that's right.
Jacinda. That's it. Jacinda.
She's so annoying, and I don't like watching her talk that I just kind of like, I turn her off as soon as she's on. I remain ignorant willfully. Part of that is we have our own problems in the United States.
With your ears? Is that what you're saying? Jacinda Ardern is that former New Zealand Prime Minister's name.
That gal's name, eh?
Yeah. We're also talking about some stuff going on in Iran.
Which is eerily similar to things we've talked about. I think we've brushed up on that. We don't want to give the details quite yet, but it's going to be
We'll get into it.
It's going to be fun to talk about.
So, starting off, I think we were going to play this clip.
Do a little reaction.
That this was the former New Zealand Prime Minister, Jacinda Ardern. All right, let's go ahead and play that clip there, Theo. Hold on, she was speaking at it looks like a UN.
This is at the UN. Yeah, you see those? Isn't that weird? How do we
have more information on actually like where
from the background just by looking at it?
Yeah,
where it is.
Many of Eagle's speeches have been made with that background.
Since it's the beginning, man.
Yeah,
dude, so wild. Things you don't even think about, man. Or a lot of people don't. At least we're some of the unfortunate souls that think about these things.
Yeah.
Play the clip.
This week we launched an initiative alongside companies and non-profits to help improve research and understanding of how a person's online experiences are curated by automated processes. This will also be important in understanding more about mis- and disinformation online, a challenge that we must, as leaders, address. Sadly, I think it's easy to dismiss this problem as one in the margins. I can certainly understand the desire to leave it to someone else. As leaders, we're rightly concerned that even the most light-touch approaches to disinformation could be misinterpreted as being hostile to the values of free speech that we value so highly. But while I cannot tell you today what the answer is to this challenge, I can say with complete certainty that we cannot ignore it. To do so poses an equal threat to the norms we all value. After all, how do you successfully end a war if people are led to believe the reason for its existence is not only legal but noble? How do you tackle climate change if people do not believe it exists? How do you ensure the human rights of others are upheld when they are subjected to hateful and dangerous rhetoric and ideology? The weapons may be different, but the goals of those who perpetuate them is often the same: to cause chaos and reduce the ability of others to defend themselves, to disband communities, to collapse the collective strength of countries who work together. But we have an opportunity here to ensure that these particular weapons of war do not become an established part of warfare. In these times, I'm acutely aware of how easy it is to feel disheartened. We are facing many battles on many fronts, but there is cause for optimism, because for every new weapon we face, there is a new tool to overcome it. For every attempt to push the world into chaos is a collective conviction to bring us back to order. We have the means. We just need the collective will.
That was some of the most extreme lack of self-awareness that I can imagine, judging by the fact that
I think she was getting paid to say that. So
New Zealand sent troops to Afghanistan along with the United States, and
that was like we said, Jacinda Ardern to the UN General Assembly on October of 2022.
I don't trust that Karen Carpenter looking. Something's wrong with her face.
come on.
Yeah, especially that one. Look at that. She's got like a rat face too. You know what I mean?
You know, isn't that a total lack of self-awareness? And I'm not talking from the perspective of an individual that got deployed to Iraq or Afghanistan or anything like that, but from a UN level. You're giving speeches at the UN.
Well, and they went full.
And you're talking crap like this. Sorry, go ahead.
They went full R word during COVID too.
New Zealand did, yeah. Well,
what's our word? I'm sorry.
You're serious? You don't know?
Can't say it.
Everybody knows you never go full retard.
So, also, the interesting thing is that she was comparing free speech, the ability for people to say whatever they want as a weapon of war, which makes sense because, if they're at war with the common man, the common people now, which we talked about on the last episode, spawn of 9/11, is that all these first world countries started legally spying on their own citizens. But the first casualty of every war is
the truth.
So obviously, if people are speaking the truth, or what the establishment deems as non-truth, that could affect somebody's perspective.
Didn't she say order at that? That could
disrupt the order of things.
That's a threat to the order.
The weapons.
What do you mean order? Because I think about
the New World Order, bro.
I think about that.
The UN New Order?
Like the order where in that bad latest Star Wars movie.
Today is the end of the Republic. The end of a regime that acquiesces to disorder.
That order? What's it called?
I didn't watch the newer ones.
The comedy ones?
I gave up after Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good place. I had to go with my family. I'll leave it at that.
Every man has a decision. And some decisions
lead me to a really bad Star Wars movie where the order person reminds me of the former prime minister of New Zealand.
But you know what?
It's crazy.
It's good, though, because now you can make that comparison here on the show, right? And your kids, they're like, oh, yeah, my dad took us to theaters. My mom and dad took us to theaters to see that movie. It sucked, but it's cool.
No, I think they liked it. I know. It's unfortunate.
You don't know what they're going to say 20 years from now.
What, do you subscribe to Disney Plus?
Opinions can change.
I think we just...
Buddy, why'd you have to bring that up?
I think we just
had a
dipped
whole bunch
on it.
Of shit.
I do think we just dipped on the Disney Plus.
Yeah. Well,
yep, was giving the money to Disney. Got total hypocrite.
Piss on Disney. Well, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, sure, really.
Yeah, well, they're losing lots of money.
I think we're going to get to that.
No, not on this show. We got a lot to talk about other stuff. So
yeah, what didn't you have something to say about Jacinda? No, you didn't. I'm just going to call her Jacinda. I love it.
Jacinda. That sounds like an evil witch from like a old Disney movie.
So
now would be the lead role.
So are those the values she was talking about? Because the United States is guilty of invading countries that they vastly, overwhelmingly had superior forces. There's absolutely no question about that.
They were harboring weapons of mass destruction in terrorist camps, dude. Come on.
Yeah, they were harboring all sorts of terrorists. Not to mention it. Imagine the amount of terrorists it recruited. to those areas that perhaps even killed New Zealanders because they have been deployed to Afghanistan. So isn't that crazy that she has such a lack of self-awareness? She's willing to go to the UN, right? The international peacekeeper. It's just, yeah. And then went into end war. Okay, so we've already established what you've done.
Well, she's already made her money off of it, so she's like, we should. Well, they want to end these wars in other countries to start wars with their own citizens.
She had to have been talking about.
I don't know if that's.
She
that's
had to have been talking about the war in Ukraine, obviously, because that's the convenient, stop the war.
I thought she was stepping down.
She is the former PM, so this was from last year. This was a speech from last year.
Oh,
yeah, this one is.
Yeah, I told you that in October 2022 it came out.
I am a mess.
So that's interesting that you bring up Zelensky though, because didn't he have something to say?
Well, it's funny that you say that.
Don't we have a clip?
Because there were two things that I kind of still were thinking about that video that are an excellent lead into the Zelensky video, which is what we're going to pull up from him at the UN. And one of the things that Jacinda said was, I think, something to the effect of dismantle weapons. So as she is talking at the UN a year ago or whatever, or so it was prior,
less than a year.
We don't,
almost a year.
I guess we don't have the chronology on it, but we know that the United States, our federal government, has sent cluster bombs
and depleted uranium rounds.
Yeah, and depleted uranium rounds.
That's a whole other episode on itself about
it
that.
Is.
The atrocities, the birth defects, the depleted uranium rounds are nasty, and we already talked about the cluster bombs, how it leaves unexploded munitions on the ground for years till some kid comes along and steps on it.
I do not think that as bad of a man as Vladimir Putin may be.
He would do the same thing.
We don't know his heart, but
no, he would do the same.
Well, he's obviously accumulated a very, very large amount of wealth and power for himself.
Yeah.
And those are and to the effect that he has, those are two things that you can kind of just imagine. Yeah, they're probably a very predisposed to doing very quiet, horrible, bad things.
Here's another, dude, you gotta understand though.
While maintaining an image, a public image.
My buddy and I were talking about this the other day. These people, they don't think on the same level that we do, dude.
Of course not.
They can't.
You're talking about all of the power in the world.
There's no way they can relate to the common man.
No.
You know what I mean? If you and I or E-Rock were to get $100 million somehow, or whatever, it'd be like, oh, heck yeah, everybody's profiting. Like, spread the wealth. We came from not having much money to all of a sudden now we got money. Sweet.
Yeah.
These people, money doesn't mean anything to them. It's not about money, it's about
it's a nice
power,
byproduct. It's
control.
a very convenient byproduct.
They have so much money, dude, that it becomes nothing. They can go anywhere in the world whenever they want. They can do whatever they want. So then that's why I think they start joining these clubs, right? These societies, and they start doing heinous shit.
Yeah,
get the rocks off.
I don't doubt
because
it.
they have so much money, like skydiving.
They're looking for thrill.
Yeah, they're looking for thrill.
They don't feel accountable to anybody.
Firefight, because that's dangerous. That's not guaranteed to survive. But
they're so narcissistic that is somebody else's job, not mine. I am too important.
Right.
And the money being the byproduct of the power, the dominance over other people that they really have no empathy for, that leads to this lavish lifestyle that, they just believe that is what they deserve because they are.
Because I am
superior.
who I am.
They are the alpha.
I'm special because I was born.
Smarter than everybody.
Oh, yeah.
That's really. I was thinking about. It's funny you say that because I was thinking about that song earlier today.
Yeah.
Yeah, just it's a sensible set of lyrics if you think about it.
1970,
and not much has changed.
Was 70?
1970.
On that original album? Or no,
It
before
was
that.
on the Paranoid album. The self-titled and Paranoid in the same
No,
year.
but what changed is, of course, that the badass who in 1970 came out with that ended up in Hollywood with a mansion and one of the dumbest reality shows ever, and with two complete turd-faced kids and a wife that knew she could market her husband for millions upon millions of dollars.
And she be set.
Well, she's
good for her.
She's brilliant.
Well, England has a history of some women taking positions like that, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, not only women, but of course men, and absolutely crazy, especially if you're in the private school sector over there. Some just crazy sort of knowledge and education that you can get, right? That kids get here, of course, but
well, stick a fork in Ozzy. He's done because he pulled out of the Power Trip Festival. And I'm going to that in Indio, California, but...
You're dead to me, over.
Dude, really? Why would you go to California, dude?
Well,
that's a good point.
Ozzy and AC/DC were supposed to play at the same night.
So,
AC/DC hasn't
so
played.
a dude that you want to stick a fork in,
well, no,
and then
I'm
a
just
really,
saying,
really bad band from
he
Australia.
pulled out. But anyways, going to New Zealand, AC/DC's drummer is unable to attend.
Can't get a passport, right?
A visa.
Or that's what.
Where at?
He's
for New Zealand.
Lives in New Zealand.
What you told me? It was like he tried to get his wife assassinated.
No, not his wife. It was like a murder for hire, but like a dirty deed, house arrest for whatever. Anyways, he's not going to be there, so I'm really, really bummed between Ozzy and now Phil Rudd not being. So thanks, New Zealand,
New Zealand, or the freaking criminal
America.
Or the criminal you were talking about.
But I mean, couldn't he just enter through the southern border?
He sure could.
He could, if he wanted to. That'd be a rough go, though.
Yeah, well.
Find him dead in the back of a big old semi with fucking 50 other...
That's, you know what? You want to talk about a whole other episode. That's one of them.
Yeah.
We were going to get on to Zelensky here.
Yeah. Sorry.
So,
Pony Trail.
When did that turd go to the UN?
This week.
We got a clip here we're going to play of him at the UN. Let's just listen to him talk.
For more help.
I can see, and money.
Was he on his knees just groveling?
It was at 2:15 p.m. So
Eastern.
I would imagine, given that
the UN's in New York.
No, actually, I think the UN is on that technically international Rockefeller property there.
Oh,
right?
You were correct.
That was donated.
Yeah. Yep.
It's technically international.
So, but it's surrounded by New York.
Right.
Yeah.
Wednesday.
The Rockefellers donated it, if my mind serves me correctly. That's weird.
Yeah. So
I've heard a thing or two about them.
September, what was it, 19th then?
Yes.
Okay. Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Even though humanity is failing on its climate policy objectives, this means that extreme weather will still impact the normal global life, and some evil state will also weaponize its outcomes. And when people in the streets of New York and other cities of the world went out on climate protest, we all have seen them. And when people in Morocco and Libya and other countries die as a result of natural disasters, and when islands and countries disappear underwater, and when tornadoes and deserts are spreading into new territories, and when all of this is happening, one unnatural disaster in Moscow decided to launch a big war and kill tens of thousands of people. We have to stop it. We must act united to defeat the aggressor and focus all our capabilities and energy on addressing these challenges. As nukes are restrained, likewise the aggressor must be restrained, and all his tools and methods of war. Each war now can become final, but it takes our unity to make sure that aggression will not break in again. And it is not a dialogue between the so-called great powers somewhere behind the closed doors that can guarantee us all the new wars era, but open war of all nations for peace.
So there was that Zelensky clip.
I got from that. First world pollution causes third world natural disasters.
Okay.
And why Russia want to fight us when Sun want to kill us all?
Because Russia actually warned for a decade that they will not tolerate NATO being on their border.
Right. But
And the tornadoes.
That dude is a freaking turd face, man.
Was he playing his penis on the fucking thing? Do that noise.
they kept hitting the... He was...
When I was hearing...
Yeah.
Kept hearing that noise during the... Is he playing the piano again?
That TP takes out of all of our episodes.
Yeah, because it's annoying as shite.
Props to TP.
All right. Anyway, so that he wasn't really begging for money in that clip.
Why was he at the UN if he's not part of NATO? What's the difference between NATO and UN?
Well, to the layman, such as myself.
According to 10differences.org, the main difference between NATO and the UN is that NATO reflects an alliance formed by around 30 countries, aiming to defend each other during a war, and other similar unpleasant scenarios. At the same time, the UN strategizes to pack all the nations together by offering them a platform to fix various kinds of issues, peacefully.
I think that that NATO is essentially just the military arm of the UN. So, I mean, Russia is on the UN Security Council, right? One of the 5 permanent members of the UN.
Apparently, Ukraine is... they were one of the first countries that signed the United Nations Charter on June 26, 1945, and it came into force 24 October 1945.
Ukraine?
Yeah. But the NATO, is essentially the military of the UN, but it's not official by any means.
According to NATO.int, NATO and the United Nations were both founded in the 1940s, in the aftermath of the Second World War, to preserve peace and security. NATO's North Atlantic Treaty operates within the framework of the United Nations Charter, including Article 51, which establishes the inherent right of individual or collective defense of all UN member countries. The two organizations began working together on issues of common concern in the 1990s, and signed a framework for expanded consultation and cooperation in September 2008. An updated joint declaration setting out plans for future cooperation between NATO and the UN was signed on the 26th of October 2018.
That's pretty scary.
Yeah, so it's the UN can have peacekeepers and stuff, but they can't. So NATO, that's what Russia doesn't want. They don't want U.S. military, allied military
patrolling their
on
borders.
Their border. Yeah, that was the whole agreement.
That frankly sounds reasonable at this point. Why the hell would you want them prying around you on your borders? They've already got Estonia, Lithuania, but the advantage of that is that they are Baltic states.
Yep.
So also, Russia is a Baltic state. They have Kaliningrad as well, which is that small piece we've talked about on the show prior.
Yep.
So they have a massive Navy presence in the Baltic.
Speaking of the Navy, I saw the Chinese Navy surround Taiwan, but...
Well...
Didn't Putin just meet with Kim Jong-un?
Yeah, I think... I saw a picture or two.
And they gave him, drones for, presents.
But Zelensky's worried about climate change.
Yeah, Zelensky's worried about climate change. Putin is, giving drones... I haven't actually seen giving drones as presents.
Gift list?
I don't know. I've also been seeing reports that drones have been kamikazing the shite out of Moscow and stuff lately.
Well, yeah, we mentioned that first report of that one on a prior episode. So, yeah, I was actually going to mention earlier that Vladimir Putin has shown restraint to the nth. I mean, why wouldn't he arm North Korea?
or completely wipe out Ukraine.
The United States, I guess we're going to get to this anti-war article here, and it sort of illustrates a great position on the subject.
So at the same speech that happened on the 19th of September 2023, that Zelensky was there saying that climate change is more serious of a threat or whatever. Is that what I was understanding?
Well, yeah, and if you actually look, actuaries for insurance companies and stuff that do the math on all of this, they're not worried about ocean levels rising.
No?
No, they feel pretty safe in the investment on the properties that they have on the ocean front.
Well, it's weird. If ocean level's been rising, how come the Statue of Liberty in Manhattan have been sinking?
What about the tornadoes?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, on a side note, it was September. It was a day prior was when Kim Jong-un met with Putin, and he received a rifle, a cosmonaut's glove, and 5 military drones, which on their own are a violation of UN sanctions.
Oh,
dude, that's
goodness.
like some. I was gonna say that's like some like mafia stuff.
So scary.
That's warlord shit.
Especially,
right there.
what are you talking about?
Here's a rifle. Here's a glove that adds 10 strength that can punch heads off of people's bodies, and some drones.
UAV online.
5 one-way attack drones and a Uranium-25 reconnaissance drone, which is widely used in the war in Ukraine. That violates at least 2 UN Security Council resolutions against North Korea, which Moscow voted to approve. Blah, blah, blah.
You get the point.
Wow. Why wouldn't they at this point? The United States has a massive troop presence in South Korea. So why wouldn't... Okay, guess who Russia shares a border with? North Korea. Once again, another country that the United States does not share a border with has had a massive military presence right on its border since the 50s, and in fact incurred on their soil.
There's a fight communism, dude.
Come on, man.
Vietnam as well. There were men from Iowa, Illinois, Minnesota, Wisconsin.
Good old Midwest.
Lost their lives there.
Yeah.
And you know,
there's memorials all
every
over.
other state in the Union, in Korea.
Korea was jacked up, dude. I had a grandfather served in Korea, and I never even knew about it till I joined the Marine Corps, that he was a Marine and went to Korea.
Wow.
Yeah. But you're going to say...
Yeah, it's pretty deep. No, it's pretty deep, man.
But anyway, we're not talking about that. We're talking about colonial aggression.
On countries that we do not share borders with.
Yeah.
Because we only share borders with 2.
All right. Back this anti-war article, September 19th, 2023. Biden's UN General Assembly speech aimed at Russia exposes U.S. hypocrisy.
Dave DeCamp. We've brought him up before on articles and sources.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
And anti-war we like.
We're pretty anti-war, I think.
I am.
Maybe you've got the point.
Anyways, you want to go ahead and read that, Theo?
President Biden took aim at Russia at the UN General Assembly in New York on Tuesday in a speech that revealed U.S. hypocrisy on the war in Ukraine and other issues. Discussing arms control, President Biden accused Russia of, quote, shredding long-standing arms control agreements, end quote. Mentioning that Moscow suspended its participation in New START, acronym START, is what we're seeing here in the article. All caps. The last nuclear arms control treaty between the U.S. and Russia. Biden's rhetoric omits the fact that the U.S. withdrew from several arms control treaties in the years leading up to Russia's invasion of Ukraine.
That's true.
Trump's fault.
In 2019, the Trump administration pulled out of the Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces Treaty, which banned ground-launched short and medium-range missiles. In 2020, the U.S. exited Open Skies, a treaty that allowed the U.S., Russia, and other signatories to conduct unarmed surveillance flights over each other's territory. At the time, then presidential candidate Biden slammed the move, but his administration declined Russia's offer to salvage the treaty in 2021. So, as far as arms control, the United States does not need to lecture anybody internationally about selling arms or virtue signal about treaties or anything like that, because they've dealt so many arms.
Especially the Biden and Obama administration, dude.
Well, think about the extremity of the places that they dealt the arms as well.
Yeah. What? Look at how many
ISIS?
arms poured into fucking
when we thought we could
Syria, Mali, Lebanon.
When we thought
Yemen.
we could destabilize Syria, which was a Russian ally.
Yeah.
At that time, by the way, think about one of our allies getting attacked.
They tried chemical weapons 2.0. They were mustard gassing their own people. I mean, what was this one? Sarin gas in them. And then turns out that was bullshit.
Kind of like what we're seeing now, and people are being fed
bullshit.
The same story, except just a different place. North, like directly north of there.
Yeah.
That's weird. Isn't that crazy?
Like the Merchant of Death?
The Merchant of Death? What do you mean?
The guy that was locked up in Illinois?
Oh.
The Merchant of Death.
They traded Brittany Spears
we did
Griner
that
for
episode, but we've been drinking some beers, so I don't remember. I don't remember his name. Victor, not
Bout or Boot.
Victor Boot.
Victor Boot. Good call.
Yeah, TP did the call. We did the call.
So, and then they're talking about Bush and that shit and whatnot. You can go read that for yourself. But yeah, sounds like these fucking assholes keep playing the same story over and over and over again.
Isn't that weird?
Well, it worked for us before.
It must be coincidence, but I don't think so. I think it's planned, and we have a history of this. Much like it sounds like we have a history of screwing with Iran, like the countries that we've been talking about. Yeah.
We've never dicked around in Iran before.
Well, even though there are enemies, quote unquote, no, you can't see us doing enemies in the quote, the body.
Yeah,
language.
bunny ears.
But we have collectively, if we are under the United States government, screwed with Iran a whole hell of a lot.
Yeah, for a while. And that goes back to the Dulles brothers being real pieces of shit.
In bad ways.
Yeah. That's why I said
incited revolutions in their country and overthrew their government.
Yeah. And they're like, cool, now let's try to make a formula of doing this.
How'd you feel?
Right. Yeah, I'm putting together that show too on the Dulles brothers and their absolute scumbaggy, slime trail leaving pieces of shit they are. Stinking up the fucking room as soon as they walk in. It smells like sulfur. They got possessed by demons or something, Like Hillary and Obama, according to Alex Jones.
I'm told her and Obama just stink. You can't wash that evil off, man. Obama and Hillary both smell like sulfur.
So yeah, on September 18th, 5 Americans that were wrongfully imprisoned in Iran were released on Monday as part of a prisoner exchange agreement that gives the Tehran access to $6 billion in oil revenues from frozen U.S. sanctions. Ahmad Jaghari, Morad Tazabizbaz, and Sayamak Namazi, and 2 others who didn't want to be named.
Was this Ben Stiller's doing? Argo 2? Is there going to be another video? Is it the same agent?
You're not talking about Ben Stiller.
I never saw the movie.
Ben Affleck.
You said Ben Stiller, bro.
Ben Affleck's doing? Sorry, wrong Ben. But anyway, Argo version 2.
So days before the Americans were released, Republican lawmakers in Washington blasted the deal, saying it amounted to a, quote, ransom payment.
Oh, yeah,
and would
that's what
only
we did.
encourage Iran to imprison more foreigners. A similar 2015 arrangement during the Obama administration, in which Iran was given access to blocked funds at the same time Americans held in Iran were freed, also came under fierce criticism from Republicans as the capitulation to the Tehran.
Even to the Republicans, why are like dumb decisions with money a surprise? I don't understand.
I'm surprised Zelensky wasn't really mad
because none of these politicians know how to balance their checkbooks. So why do you think they can balance our budgets, our checkbooks, and the taxing?
Weren't we talking about wars that cost trillions of dollars earlier? Perhaps trillions of dollars?
So far, a war that we haven't even sent troops to has cost us billions, hundreds of billions.
6 billion. 6 billion, that's just pennies.
Well, to the federal government.
Yeah, well, like I said, they can't send that to Maui. We already said,
yeah, no shit.
Piece of shit. Fucking asshole.
Could you imagine what $1 billion would do for those Hawaiians?
People? I think it'd help a lot. Nope. 700 per household. Sorry, this is
we have a war to fund in Eastern Europe.
Yeah.
But as I was saying, I'm pretty sure Zelensky's probably really jealous.
Are you saying that Zelensky's jealous of the millions of dollars that were spent on the Hawaiians?
No, I'm saying about the Iran.
Oh,
he should have got that.
Yeah, I bet he thinks
So I'm pretty sure
he deserves that.
Zelensky's probably jealous of this Iran $6 billion.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
No crap.
But you know what? Former President Donald Trump, what he had to say?
What did he have to say?
Well, Trump blasted Biden and the Iran hostage deal, saying, I brought 58 hostages home and never paid anything.
Yeah, because he smoked a fucking Iranian general with a Predator drone in Iraq.
Yeah. And dropped a Moab.
Yeah. Don't fuck with me. He's like,
on
who knows what. Honestly, that could have been a whole bunch of people that had nothing to do with a jack shit. And they just dropped a fucking Moab and they told us, oh, they were terrorists.
Well, at the same time, over the Persian Gulf, Straits of Hormuz.
Yeah.
That entered the Persian Gulf from the Indian Ocean.
What about them?
There was a Predator drone, American, that was shot down.
Yeah.
By the Iranians.
Yeah.
And Trump showed the restraint. Said, like, did anybody die? Was there an American killed?
Yeah, but you know what happened?
And they're like, no. And he's like, okay, so why would I authorize airstrikes on Iranian people if...
To destroy the equipment. Because you know what happened now?
If an unmanned drone...
Just recently, Iran revealed their new unmanned drone.
Did President Obama show any restraint to that effect?
No, he probably would have cluster bombed the area.
He toppled regimes as well.
Yeah.
No, instead,
him and Biden.
So I will give Donald Trump that's one thing that I will give him credit on. I say one thing.
There you go. You got it. One. So, yeah, but now, like I said, Iran copied that drone, and they have one just like it now. They just revealed it. It's like a replica of a U.S. Predator 2 drone. It's hilarious. I'm like, shocker.
They probably bought the technology from China that Google or somebody gave them.
They took it down from that one and that crashed, dude. Come on. Follow along.
So, under the arrangement, the Tehran will be granted access to the roughly $6 billion in Iranian oil revenues that were blocked in South Korean banks because of U.S. sanctions.
Of course. The ultimate authority.
But the U.S. officials say that Qatar's central bank will oversee the funds, and Iran will be permitted to use the money only for humanitarian purposes.
Oh, of course.
In accordance to the U.S. sanctions.
Well, naturally.
Well, in response, the Tehran said we will use it for wherever we need it.
Well, all governments make press releases. All of them do it. They all make press releases that smooth everything out.
Try to. Unlike Fetterman, his press releases don't smooth jack shit out.
My goodness.
He's still going?
Are you talking about the UAW strike of the Big Three clip?
Where he's like, it's on water and
bailing and sailing the yacht.
Bailing and sailing on the yacht. Bailing and sailing water.
Play the clip.
My message to the CEOs is, it's $74 million, collectively earning that. How many yachts can they need, to water ski behind it? It's just crazy.
It's crazy, it's crazy.
So Iraq, you had mentioned that you didn't hear his message. So what did you gather from his message?
CEOs and yachts and skiing and
yachts are in water. That's good.
Skiing.
Good job.
So that's a U.S. senator from Pennsylvania. One of two.
This is the clown world we live in.
He also shows up to the U.S. Senate as redneck and white trash as I am.
It's laundry day again.
I don't think that I would ever show up to the U.S. Senate in a fucking Carhartt hoodie and a pair of shorts.
Just rolled out of your fucking Motel 8 bedroom that you shared with your fucking brother-in-law.
And you went to Harvard?
After you guys had a bender the night before?
Something just doesn't seem right with the picture. I think it's kind of weird. I think it's kind of crazy.
That's where these people they're trying to what's the word I'm looking for?
Dress for success.
No, they're trying to sympathize and empathize with the common man, right? They're trying to get down on our level, but they just can't because they have no idea what it's like, dude. They don't drink fucking simple orange juice because it tastes bad to them. They have their shit fresh squeezed every morning.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Make America white trash again.
Yeah,
they don't think about what it's like for people in Ukraine. They don't think what it's like for people in Iraq. They don't think what it's like for people.
All those other countries. They don't think what it's like here.
CIA operations in Central America,
in Honduras, South Dakota,
Guatemala.
They don't know what it's like in Tennessee.
They don't care.
Yeah,
about
none of them.
People.
None of it.
They do not care about
they
lives.
Claim they do. Look at New York. They're like, bring all your immigrants here because we're so super smart and that's what we did back in the 20s. And
we're a sanctuary city.
And then they're like, oh man, this immigration's going to ruin our city if we keep up with this. Holy shit.
These Texas mayors are up to some shenanigans because
looks like Trump was right.
They shipped what was
going to happen.
A few thousand migrants, a few 10,000 migrants to New York City, and a couple hundred to Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah, well, they're coming to Chicago next. We mentioned that before. They're coming to Chicago in the suburbs of Chicago now.
Well,
and here's the funny thing is that AOC, we'll play that clip. She was getting hackled and booed. Close the border in New York, dude, out on the street with a couple of her fellow representatives.
AOC was?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, that just happened like on the 20th September. I'll play the clip.
We're incredibly thrilled and excited to be here in order to make sure that we are joined by the Congressional Hispanic Caucus as well as several other members from across the United States.
So, New Yorkers are clearly having a problem with it. I mean, they're already living on top of each other, dude. I couldn't imagine living in the city, dude.
They have a
law
system that has let criminals out on the streets and run around like it's frickin' Gotham, dude.
Right. Is that what they're waiting for? The Dark Knight to come save them?
They must be waiting for the dark something to come save them because...
The Antichrist. It's going to be the aliens. Oh, man. I'm really trying to get some guys on the podcast, Hollow Sky guys, to do, because I want to talk about those aliens. Did you see them in Mexico that apparently the Mexican government has?
Mache?
Dude, the one they're like, this is a super sensitive alien. You guys need to stand back. And they pull it out of a cardboard box with latex gloves on. Like what?
What's happening?
Right. When I've seen mummies on the National Geographic Channel get extracted at museums, and there's way more care taken into.
Yeah.
And these alien mummies look like shit. But maybe it's going off the NASA's old adage of the old adage of, you know it's real because it looks so fake.
Well, there are all sorts of theories about different species in other ages. We'll just leave it at that.
Of humanoids? Maybe. Or different species of...
midget Mexicans?
Different areas. Hey, man. There's a lot of weird mythology from stuff in the back.
When I was in
back
Tennessee,
the
I got to see...
the pygmies.
I got to see micro wrestling.
Do you like liberty?
Do you like freedom?
Do you want to defund the IRS?
Do you hate the Federal Reserve?
Do you want to abolish the FBI?
You suck, you jackass.
Do you want to outlaw inflation?
Yeah!
Then come on now to merchforliberty.com. Hey guys, this month at Iowa Talk Guys Podcast is the Merch for Liberty month.
That's right. Promo code ITG. 50% off.
On everything. All of the products down at Merch for Liberty.
These are also products that are made right here in the United States of America.
That's right. High quality, great decals. The artwork, the graphics are fantastic on them. Made by Americans for Americans.
Merchforliberty.com. The stickers there, they're very high quality, and if you're a cheap ass like me, enter promo code ITG for 50% off.
You won't be disappointed with 50% off.
No, who is? That'd be weird if you weren't.
Hey, why spend all the money on a tattoo when you can get a sticker? Enter promo code ITG for 50% off.
All right. Go check them out. Now let's get back to the show.
What?
Oh, really?
In Tennessee.
When you were in Tennessee, you went to a micro wrestling?
When the time you went to the Trump store?
Hold on.
Yes. So you went to the Trump store and micro?
You went.
Yes.
Hold on.
Why did you not start off with that when we asked you how your vacation was?
No.
That should have been the highlight.
It was the highlight. It was.
Why did you start with it?
They had a lot of Mexican little people. Little Cholo was there.
Little Cholo.
The types of little people that weren't good enough to be in the new
Micro Suave
and the new Snow White movie. Those types of little people.
Yeah, they should have casted them because they were fucking awesome.
Yeah.
If you're on Instagram, Micro Wrestling Federation.
All right, check it out.
It's pretty entertaining. It's for a good cause too.
Well, but that's awesome, dude. I went to a cockfight in Mexico once.
Really?
All right. You've never told. Maybe you did. Like
I told.
I hate to admit it. Really drunk sometimes.
Yeah, I told Theo the story when he was super drunk. It was him, not me.
Oh, but you were. Yeah, you were all innocent,
not like
as white as the driven snow.
Just trying to stay in my lane.
Not like the cock magic.
It wasn't a sword fight.
Oh, okay.
So
it was legit.
You saw a cock just
out in the open.
Well, there had to have been blood everywhere.
There was one fight there where that happened, but no, it's pretty wild. I'm not going to get into the details of it. You know what? I will. So it was pretty wild because at first when we walked into this place, we had a connection, a guy that was married to a gal down there that had a connection, a family, right? Fortunately, we were in like the family corner because when we walked in there, I was like, I don't know if we're supposed to be here because literally this whole place, it was this big barn with like this octagon set up in the center of it.
Like UFC style?
Bleachers and stuff, yeah. But short. It was low. Like, it was only like 3 feet off the ground or whatever so everybody can see. There's bleachers and stuff.
Did they have like a Jose Rogan?
Everybody stops. No, dude. Yeah, they had announcers and stuff. They had a couple announcers. But everybody stopped talking. And like these 4 gringos following this Mexican come walking in. We're like taller than everybody too, So it's like they're all like in cowboy.
Really?
They're all in cowboy hats and shit looking at us. And I'm like,
who are these fucking Americans?
Yeah, dude. I was like, man, I think we're gonna get fucking stabbed in here. We better mind our P's and Q's, right? Like this kind of sketchy.
Yeah, I bet.
And luckily, one of the guys I was traveling with, he was a Marine, combat veteran Marine. So I wasn't too worried about it. He was a combat Marine. I wasn't too worried about it. Combat veteran. So we go in there, and then one dude comes up to one of the guys we're traveling with, and he's got smokes in his front pocket. They were Camels. And he pulled one out, and this guy comes up. He's like, "Oh," starts talking in Spanish. Ask him for a cigarette. The one dude goes, "Oh, he wants a cigarette, man." He's like, "Okay, here." He's like, "Oh, all right." Gave him a bunch of them. Didn't give
probably
him like the
cheap
whole pack.
down there too.
Well, turns out that guy was like the bouncer, and so that was cool. So then we were in the corner with the whole family and stuff. So that was good. Like, so we were surrounded. We didn't have to worry about.
You were taken care of.
Yeah, we didn't have to worry about getting shanked, and it was really awesome. It was a great experience. We didn't gamble on it. People were trying to get us to want to gamble and stuff because you can bet money with anybody that's there. You can bet money against each other and stuff. But I was like, no, dude, I don't want to take any of these people's money. Like, if I lose, I'm cool with that. But if I win something, like, I don't want to take these people's money.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I mean, it's fair game.
You don't want to take my money either, so
right, yeah.
You're a turd face.
No, I'd rather take Americans' money than down there and we weren't in. This was not a part of this.
Hey,
this wasn't Cancun, Mexico, buddy. This was real Mexico. This wasn't a tourist area. Yeah, it was cool. It was one of those things that I had the opportunity. I'm like, and we were like, yeah, let's do it. Why not?
They're gonna do it regardless.
Well, yeah, it was gonna happen regardless. And I was like, I don't know when I'll ever. And that was the one. I've been down to Mexico a few times, and that was the only time I ever had that opportunity. So I'm glad I went.
So did you ever see a donkey show?
Nope. There's a lot of jokes about it, but it never happened.
Why?
But I did see CCR in a town like 45 minutes from the place we were at.
Creedence Clearwater Revival?
Yeah, it was awesome, dude. Yeah, it was. I was like, that's what I said when the guy was like, the contractor we were working with, he was a Mexican. He's like, hey man, he's like, you want to see CCR this Saturday night? And I was like, CCR. I'm like Creedence Clearwater. He's like, yeah.
Are you talking about the one that's going around on TikTok and Instagram with the "Have you ever?"
No, this was the actual. They were the members minus John Fogerty.
Oh, and then revisited then.
Yeah, this was revisited.
Okay,
Creedence Clearwater revisited.
You gotta use the proper terminology.
Sorry,
with E-Rock.
Not revival.
E-Rock has his music down, bro.
He is. You're correct. So this is.
So
that's what I said. And that's what I said. I said Creedence Clearwater Revival, and that's when he goes, no, revisited. And I was like, are you kidding me? And I'm like, yeah, how much are tickets? And it was like $25 US. I'm like, yes. And I'm like, where? And then we got a bunch of guys to go, a bunch of coworkers, and I talked to a bunch of other guys at the hotel, and they bought tickets. We all bought tickets. They were from a different company, but we were all like working kind of the same schedule at the same place. So we all went out. There was like, I don't know, 8 or 9 of us or whatever, this big group. Dude, it was awesome. They had this it was a Queen like tribute band or cover band. They were Mexican. They were all Mexican, but they sung in English. And this guy was
Okay, is that the other TikTok?
No. This band opened for CCR.
There's a lot of Mexicans that speak English. I mean,
obviously, but no, this guy was no Freddie Mercury.
We've been
no, but like when he was talking to the crowd, it was in Spanish. But when he was singing, it was English.
Yeah,
right? The Queen songs. And this guy was no Freddie Mercury, but dang, man, it's
great.
Like he didn't have AIDS.
No, and he was still alive. He didn't have.
Did he have an overbite?
He did not have a good mustache or an overbite, but he had some pipes on him, bud. He could sing, and so I'm like, dude, that was good. All right, and then CCR came out, and yeah, sure shit, it was all the members minus John Fogerty with some session guys, and it was fantastic, dude. And it was mixed drinks for like $2 US for like a big cup, like a 16-ounce glass of mixed drinks for like $2.
Well, Mexico is our neighbor.
Because this was not Cancun, like I said, dude. So it was real. Mexico is awesome.
Mexico is our neighbor, and a ton of Americans have been moving to Mexico.
I just heard that.
So,
I know a guy, his parents just moved to like Puerto Rico.
So, as hard as perhaps we've been on Mexico.
I'm not that hard. I mean,
we really haven't been hard on Mexico at all.
We really haven't, no. I mean, I love Mexico. I got a lot of friends down there I love.
the border situation between the United States and Mexico
and the
U.S.
cartels,
government.
dude. Yeah, it's the cartels and the U.S. government. They operate in the same way. If you didn't know before, if they were involved, if the U.S. government was in bed with the U.S. Mexican mafia, you definitely knew back in, 2008, or the Obama and Eric Holder Fast and Furious fucking fiasco.
The Nobel Peace Prize winner.
Yeah.
That guy.
We played that clip where they now regret giving him that fucking peace prize.
Right. Yeah. Credit goes to TP on that.
So it's ridiculous, dude. And just like we've all seen mafia movies, once you get in bed with the mafia, you don't ever get out.
Blood in, blood out.
That's right. And we know that the U.S. governments have been involved with the American mafia since the 40s.
That's right.
This is all public knowledge of things that happened.
The lovely Whitney Webb has.
Yeah, she's great.
Published a ton of information on this.
Yeah,
she would be the authority. We're not us.
Actually, you know what? We should probably get some of her books and do some shows on it because she is a fantastic researcher. And if you ever watched her talk, or any of her podcasts that she's been on, she just gets laser beam focused on a subject and then just digs and it's just she gets obsessed. She's got like OCD, but it's on a subject.
Cutting edge investigative journalism.
It's fantastic. Yeah, she keeps digging and digging and digging until she's like, well, there's nothing here but she's an empty toilet paper roll now. So now I'm not going to put it all into a book. And she explains it.
She rules her opinion out. She doesn't even
give it
her opinion.
Yeah. No.
Barely. If she does.
But the way she strings it together, like I said, I've never read the books, but I've seen reviews. I've listened to her talk.
Yep. Way she watched a ton of YouTube videos.
Yeah, and I've listened to podcasts and stuff.
Dude.
The way she puts things together and explains it is it's very easy to understand and then to know why. She's also like, it's good to hear her talk where she's like, this is the reason why this is bad for us too. Right? So
Epstein.
Yeah, she has like that 3-book volume series on the Epstein files or Epstein Island.
So he died at a jail. He killed himself
by suicide.
At a jail. Yeah, by suicide.
By
at a
breaking his own windpipe, allegedly, if he did die. Because that happens when you strangle yourself with a bed sheet.
And the cameras were off.
And all the guards were... I can't say all the guards, but...
The guards that were there asleep. Apparently dozed off or some shit. I don't know. It was really weird.
Huh. It's off. It's crazy.
For like a couple $1 million, they probably dozed off. I mean, who knows?
I had to take a shit.
Dang.
I don't know about you, TP, right. But sometimes I have to take like 15-minute shits.
I do that all the time.
You know, the boss makes $1, I make a dime. That's why I poop on company time.
No, for real. You're not wrong.
A crap is, we have made that company time at this point, haven't we?
And sometimes, especially if I have like 6 shits,
It sounds like a German word.
Are you sick or was it 6 of them?
6
quantity.
Sick of them. I had 6 sick shits.
So you've shit on 6 different times
in one day. Because I was sick.
In an 8-hour day, you're taking a shit like
crikey. That's good, dude.
Yeah. No.
Drink water, right?
No.
Just drink a bunch of water.
I got a shit in peace.
Well,
you put that on my fucking gravestone.
He shits in peace.
You got to shit in
peace.
He
shit in
peace.
No,
or would that be he shat in peace?
And in
past tense.
Here lies E-Rock.
A luxurious environment as well.
He came, he saw, he shat in peace.
All right.
E-Rock can't shit in the woods very well.
Dude, sometimes, you just got to do what you got to do.
Dude, I got a bidet.
Fucking pampered.
I'm more higher class than all you fucking bitches with your fucking toilet paper smearing your shit.
That's how above us he is. Fuck you.
It's true.
Yeah, you bunch of simpletons. Fucking wiping your ass with fucking paper.
He does have a bit of a Michael Jackson complex.
What the fuck does that mean? He wants to climb trees.
Come with me.
No, I meant
play.
I meant
Don't you like climbing trees?
I meant the glove
Yeah.
and how good of a musician he is.
No, I just like a clean ass.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's
well,
reasonable.
On that note, if you guys like this episode, please like, follow, subscribe, share with your friends and family.
Share with your grandmother.
Comment, please. Like, get on Instagram, comment on stuff. Maybe we should start doing a weekly drop of episodes so you guys can comment on the episode and let us know what you thought of it in Instagram and Twitter. Also, follow us on Instagram and Twitter. I'm
X.
On X, formerly known as Twitter.
I'm the one reminding you now.
I'm old. Sorry.
If you've made it this far, then you obviously know.
Also, website is up. We're searching. We're going on Fiverr. We're getting somebody to make it better.
Going on Fiverr.
Oh, yeah, it sucks.
It doesn't suck, but we need a little more on there. But hey, if you want to be on the show or if you just want to comment, drop us a line, let us know what's up. You can go to our website. There's a comment section there that you can send something to us, a message. You can also contact me at tp@iowatalkguys.com.
How do you spell that?
It's in the description. TEEPEE.
There you go.
At iowatalkguys.com.
Theo at iowatalkguys.com.
What is that?
THEO.
It's in the description.
And I'm E-Rock, and you can find me at EROCK.
Like
he just wanted to spell his own name,
like an old USA special.
Anyways, all
keep on E-Rocking in the free world.
There you go, dude.
There, that was nearly gonna.
Okay, so
he's wore out. It's welcome.
It's over.
Yeah, fuck that.
Fuck this
Canuck.
episode.
And Neil Young and his vax status.
And always remember,
don't eat the yellow cake.
Don't eat the yellow snow.
And don't drink the Kool-Aid.
And don't trust your government.
Iowa Talk Guys out.
Out.
Hi. Good night, everybody.